There's a huge My Hero All's Justice trailer breaking down all of its game modes, showing online lobbies, and a first look at customization. But it also gives us a brand new character gameplay. Well, brand new characters more like, with All For One rewinding, Best Jeanist, Headshot, and Mirko. Bandai Namco was kind enough to give me early access to this trailer. This doesn't happen very often, guys. So I have a breakdown ready for you. Let's dive in right now.
皆さんこんにちは。僕のヒーローアカデミアオールズジャスティス プロデューサーの宮崎青葉です。
If you haven't seen the trailer yet, this is Miyazaki Aoba, the game's producer, and she's the one who's going to take us through all of these different game modes. We are going to start by taking a look at the single player modes, which this game has 4 of them. In fact, the first thing we see in this breakdown is the main menu, which is just Deku out in the open world, pulling out his phone and going through all the modes. From top to bottom, we have Battle, Training, Network, Customize, Options, Tutorial, Story Mode, Team Up Mission, Archives Battle, Character Memory, and then it loops back to battle again. Now, I don't know if you have actually played the previous game, One's Justice 2, but I think I have an obligation to tell you that there's gonna be a very big tournament happening tomorrow. In fact, there are gonna be 7 big anime game tournaments happening, and you can play in them, or we can just watch them together. I'm gonna be live on Twitch restreaming all of it, but whether you wanna watch or you wanna play, you can find details to everything in the first link in the description below. Now, let's quickly go through the single player modes. First up is Story Mode, where you will play through the anime's final battle with all of these banger cutscenes. Then we have Team Up Mission, which is that game mode where you pick a character from Class 1A and go around this open world free roaming and doing missions. And according to the producer, in addition to the main missions, you'll also have side missions and even collectible cards. 313 of them. This feels like a very complete single player mode on its own, but it's only game mode number 2 out of 4. Now, when you finish Team Up mode, you unlock the final 2 single player modes, meaning they'll actually be locked when you first launch the game. But those modes are Archives Battle and Hero's Diary. Archives Battle lets you relive the big battles of past seasons. I feel like this is the way they found to give you the big battles without having to remake the whole story. This lets them just focus on the fights, and honestly, this might be the coolest mode to speedrun. And finally, we have Hero's Diary, the last single player mode where you pick up the phone, choose a combination of characters, and watch them interact with each other. Not gonna lie, this is by far the least interesting mode to me personally, but if they pull off these interactions with the number of possible combinations they have here, it could be really cool if you're into this type of stuff. But that's the single player. From here on, we're gonna take a look at the battle system. Now, the producer is gonna focus on talking about the basic mechanics, but I think most of you already know them by now. So I would rather focus on the new characters and what they can do, since it's the first time we actually see them on screen in gameplay. But if you don't know how My Hero plays yet, I recommend watching this video on my channel. As the battle starts, we get Mirko's air combo immediately on All For One. All For One Rewind is a variation of All For One. That's his quirk skill 2 and his quirk skill 4. That's 2 quirks out of 4 right there. He's going to switch to High-End Nomu. We're not going to see a lot of High-End Nomu gameplay, unfortunately, as he gets hit by this unblockable. We get to see this one attack from him, his quirk skill 2. But of course, Mirko is going to counter that and trigger a counter crash. I'm sorry, high-end Nomu fans. That's it for Nomu gameplay. Then we have a quick clip going through dodge actions. Both Mirko and Stain have Rising active, but we don't really get to see what their effects are, as this clip is very, very short. It just focuses on the dodge. Then we have Mirko's air combo once again. She really likes kicking All For One. And then Best Jeanist, who has a very interesting clip, even though it's very short. We gotta rewatch that. So you're gonna see Quirk Skill 4, which seems to be this huge unblockable attack, but I don't know if this usually has a follow-up. That said, Best Jeanist seems to be able to plant these heavy fiber containers, and they are actually gonna trap the Nomu, allowing Jeanist to combo after that Quirk Skill. And we're gonna see more on these containers soon. Honestly, I think they're insane. This character might be a problem. We got Stains plus Ultra. It's pretty much the same as the first game. A little bit more of Best Jeanist. This time he is in Rising, and he's gonna activate his own plus Ultra, which rains fibers from the sky. In this next clip, we see All For One with wings. That's not his Rising, by the way. That's just a quirk that he can activate. But Mirko is gonna once again land an air combo into her plus Ultra 1. We get to see her plus Ultra right here. Big combo with her legs, and she tags in Headshot, who just does a very, very sick plus Ultra. Speaking of sick, here's Headshot's jumping combo, ending in a ground splat. Then we have All For One doing Quirk Skill 4. We finally see it connecting as well as his counterattack and quirk skill 2. And then what we have is probably the most insane rising I have seen in this game so far. All for One is going to become young. Headshot is also going to activate his rising, and look at that dodge. He's just zooming around. But what I really want you to notice is All for One's health. He is just healing back to full. Now, this has a big downside, which they are actually going to show. So if you're thinking this is overpowered, yes, but the backlash is going to hurt. In the meantime, we get to watch this combo from Headshot confirming into Super. He's going to tag in Mirko after this, so she's going to do her plus Ultra as well. But we skip to later in this fight, and it seems like All for One is actually going to get the kill on Mirko. And Best Jeanist is the final character. He's going to come in with Rising immediately. And his Rising seems pretty insane because he just traps All for One immediately. We cut ahead and we see all of these heavy fiber containers trapping All for One as he falls and dies. But the thing is, Best Jeanist actually did not finish off All for One. He finished himself. Notice that All for One is at full health right here, but his rising meter is about to run out. So All for One is virtually immortal while his rising is active, but once it runs out, the character is actually dead. Powerful for sure, but weak to time wasting because you gotta finish that fight quickly. That's pretty much all the gameplay we're getting, but we are far from done with this video. Control modes are back. Much like the previous game, you can switch between normal or manual controls. This basically makes it so you can just mash to get a combo, or you can play manual if you want to turn off those assistances. You can actually pick a different control style for each character now. And if you choose to play normal, you can enable or disable character switching during combos, as well as throwing a plus ultra at the end of a combo if you have meter. So if you're a beginner, you can start playing with everything turned on and just mash away. But as you get more familiar with the game, you start turning off those assistances and gain more control over your character. Also returning is the special move input method. This is basically for tilt quirks pretty much. Here's basically how it works. Let's say triangle is the quirk button. On quick, you have to quickly tilt the stick and press triangle for it to work. But if you want to play on hold, as long as you are holding a direction, you can press triangle and the input will come that way. Now, let's go online. Here is the lobby menu. Yes, this game is launching with lobbies, and there is an option for increasing the number of members in a room, which means my hero has real lobbies for the first time. Whether we can spectate battles inside the lobby or not is unconfirmed at this point, but surely they have figured out that part if they are gonna give us bigger lobbies. I mean, can you imagine inviting 8 people into a lobby and 6 dudes are just waiting for the other battle to go without being able to see it? Spectator mode is so close to being confirmed thanks to this. But last but not least, we have the character customization. Now, customization is not as crazy as the previous game. I'll start by saying that. It's a lot more controlled, a lot more tame. Here's the menu. The first entry is for costumes. They actually show quite a few costumes later in the video, and I think they look really solid. I think you have to pay extra for these. It's like the digital deluxe edition or something. I'm sure there will be free costumes too, though. Then you have your start pose. That's the pose your character does at the start of each battle. And we didn't get to see the last 2 entries, but it's probably the victory pose as well as some voice lines. On top of that, you can also customize your battle screen with a few different things. You can change how your health bar looks. You can change how the battle start looks. You can change the announcer, and you can even put some stickers on the side of the screen. I don't know who wants to do that, but stickers. And that is the new My Hero trailer. Incredible breakdown and overview of all the game modes. I love this kind of trailer because it gives us, the players, a better idea of what to expect of the game. It gives us a better idea of the whole scope of the game, and that's awesome as a consumer, as a player, and as a fan. But what's your takeaway from the trailer? They showed new characters, single player modes, online customization. Which one thing surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. And for more anime games, check out this video right here. Thanks for watching. Boy.